And so Loki, he's like, hey, release the last shackle now if you guys want to save Elbaph. Otherwise, I'll show you like the hell that I can actually raise. Different legendary beasts have awoken. Loki, he's wreaking havoc with Ragnir. This is One Piece chapter 1142, and it starts off with the kids at the school. They are screaming, asking the teachers for help because there is a huge snake in the courtyard, and this is the Jormungandr, the serpent at the end of the world. It's chasing the students. They're shitting their pants because they're like, oh shoot, this snake is out here chasing us. We need help. We know how weak these kids are. They don't believe in violence. They don't believe in fighting. They don't believe in becoming warriors. And so they're begging and running because they know if they don't run, oh, that snake is definitely going to eat them. And so this causes a panic in the teacher's lounge because they're like, oh, what are we going to do? The children, they're being attacked. There's, you know, these monsters. We need assistance. And so there's the math teacher, Blade, the principal, Kiba, and then Angie, we know she was the librarian and she assists Saul. So they're trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do. And then all of a sudden, with the snake or the Jormungandr just going crazy, Principal Kiba and Saul, they step in order to protect the children. And so it looks like Kiba is using some form of a mallet or a hammer. It kind of reminds me of the individual at Fishman Island, his weapon. He ends up smacking the snake, and then Saul, out of nowhere, he charged up Hockey in a fist, uses a name attack, and he smashes the Jormungandr into the ground. And so later in the chapter, it's revealed a little bit how these beasts, how they're able to awaken and just wreak havoc. And this is because of killing him. I assume it's his devil fruit, which I'll get into a little bit later. But based off of this, it's not like these are necessary illusions or anything, because you can actually physically assault these beasts. And so everybody's like, yeah, Saul, Kiba, you guys are strong. Thank you so much for saving us. I will say Kiba looks very different based off of what he looked like in the teacher's lounge. I'm not gonna lie, he looked like a bitch in the teacher's lounge. You would not have assumed that this guy was a warrior. And when he ended up hitting Jormungandr, okay, he looked kind of cool. He's a former warrior, so I get it. But like I said, the two panels definitely is a complete 180, because I was not expecting him to be able to do something like this. And at first I was like, well, why the hell could Saul use Hockey? But I kind of forgot that he was at some point a part of the Marines. I'm pretty sure he was a vice admiral at that. So, well, if he couldn't use Hockey, then Saul wouldn't necessarily have to have the rank of a vice admiral. And so inside the school, there is the PE teacher. He is named Mr. Wolf, and he is freaking blooded. Like, I'm talking about, he's seen some shit, the way that he is blooded, battered, and bruised all on the ground. And he's like, hey, don't worry about me, I'll be fine, but you guys need to go and watch out for the kids, because there are some that are still in the school and some they're on the beach. They're asleep and they're walking. You see an arrow. I wonder if that has something to do with Gunko and her ability, but nevertheless, no matter how much that people try to call out to them, how much they try to wake them up, the kids, they are asleep and they're mindlessly walking on the beach shore. And we can assume that they're walking towards the Holy Night, since we know that they want to capture them, bring them back to Mary Jawan. Kiba, he's like, hey, we need to sound the horn because a lot of stuff is happening. And then Saul's like, well, hold up now, kids are just passing out. We defeated the Jormungandr, we defeated the snake. We can relax. We don't necessarily need to go to drastic measures. But then we look up, we see in the forest, and there are more beasts that are spawning. The kids that are at the school, they're passing out. Chopper, he's like, oh shoot, what is happening? First off, you need to go and bandage up Wolf because that brother is bleeding out. But then at the same time, he's also going to analyze the kids and figure out why they're passing out. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. We cut to the underworld, and Loki, he's talking that talk. He's like, did you really think that just leaving one of my feet shackled will be enough to hold back my power? Because I mean, let's be honest, in Udon prison we saw Luffy. Granted, he wasn't at full strength because his devil fruit was still sealed because of the cuffs, but he and Kid, they were going crazy. They were able to move. They were still able to release a whole lot of strength, or at least some of their abilities, even while they were still cuffed. And so it makes sense with somebody of Loki's ability and what he is talked up to be, that he's able to still wield Ragnir and still be pretty strong, especially being a giant too, one that's has ancient giant blood. And so Loki, he's like, hey, release the last shackle now if you guys want to save Elbaph, otherwise I'll show you like the hell that I can actually raise. And then he ends up hitting the treasure tree atom with his Ragnir, which has lightning, because we know that Elbaph's weakness is fire and lightning. The monster trio, they're here, they're all giving off or looking at Loki like, who the hell is this guy? And so I'm a little bit disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, in this chapter, because Oda the Blue Bowling Gus, we didn't really get to see Loki do much. I mean, yes, he coded Ragnir in what appears to be hockey, could potentially be conquerors, and hit the tree, and that was cool. But at the same time, we didn't get to see him fight the monster trio, and I'm surprised that Loki didn't immediately attack them and he started to attack Elbaph. I wonder why he decided to hit the tree. Maybe it's to showcase that, hey, if you guys don't free me, then I'll go ahead and destroy the whole island. But at the same time, if you do that, you're in sea prison cuffs and you have a devil fruit, then you would just fall into the ocean. So like I said, I wonder why Loki decided to just all of a sudden just go and hit the tree, because I guess like he's mad at the people for chaining him up, but that was Shanks, and I guess part of the giants. And also like there's the Holy Knights that he needs to worry about. I'm pretty sure Luffy and Haruden, that they're the least of his problem. We come back to Angie and she figured out what the monsters are. It happened earlier in class today, how the kids, they were drawing different drawings, and there's Nika, there's Ghost, there's Storms, Nidhog, Jormungandr, my mom. Like, bro, the moment I read that, I thought of regular show. But these kids, they drew so many different drawings of different legendary monsters, where, hey, some of these kids, of course, they're very young, they're going to have nightmares about this. And so these are the monsters that the kids, they fear whenever they imagine them. And so now it looks like Elbaph has turned into the children's most feared world, because we see different monsters and obviously they look a little bit funny because it's from a kid's drawing, and they're not gonna, I mean, we know that Oda, like when it comes to One Piece, some different drawings and just different things, designs and stuff, sometimes they can be cool, sometimes they can be wonky. That's just the style of One Piece. But in this specifically, because they come from kids' imaginations, obviously Nika, Fenrir, and all the other legendary creatures, monsters, and figures, they're going to look a little bit childish, a little bit wonky, but still they're definitely going to be strong because of what they can do. And I assume this has something to do with imagination, so it probably is limitless to their abilities. And it looked like it took, you know, someone like Saul, who I don't necessarily think he's the strongest at Elbaph, but he definitely is strong to be able to defeat them. And also they're just here for a distraction to get the kids to the boats to marry Jawa, so they don't necessarily need to be the strongest individuals in the world. But based off the dialogue, we, as I mentioned earlier, we can assume that this is Killingham's ability. I wonder if there's a limit to what he can do. I wonder if there's a limit to not only how many but how strong the people are. Is it only limited to what the kids believe that these monsters have the ability to do, or can Killingham all of a sudden just spew in different random abilities that he wants, or could it be abilities that he knows that these monsters that they actually have? And so Summers, he's sitting in his chair just watching the chaos happen, and he asks Gunko, hey, what do you fear? And Gunko, she says Nika. Now this reminds me of Emu pooping their pants whenever Joy Boys hockey happened at Egghead, but still I wonder why she fears Nika. Obviously it's because of the threat that Nika could have, but I wonder if maybe they were told something, or that she experienced Nika firsthand. Maybe she's from the past and maybe she's invincible as well. We don't know. But yeah, the fact that that was brought in there, it's really random, I guess. And I wonder if that means that she's going to have an interaction with Luffy and seeing him in his Nika form. But that's it for chapter 1142. There is a break next week, and like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed simply because Loki being free, you would think that he would do more, or you would think that we would see a lot more, but well, Oda likes to blue ball us, so it's unfortunate, but you know, maybe Loki will do something in the next chapter. But let me know how you guys feel about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Is on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.